What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the BallGame podcast. We've got a jam-packed episode for you here today. The NBA Finals are starting, and we're going to get right into it. We got some other stuff to touch on here and there. But first, I am your co-host, Tom, joined by my co-host.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
Real quick, before we get into everything, as you can see, we obviously have a very special guest. It's Kevin from the Good Morning Let's Basketball pod. Kevin, first of all, thank you for joining us. Very much appreciate it. Please tell the people before we get into anything how they can find you, how you guys started your pod. Give the people what they want to know.
For sure, man. First off, thank you guys for having me. I'm very excited to be here. So pretty much how we started our podcast is really just how everyone else starts their podcast. It just takes one friend to hit up the group chat one day. It's like, hey, you guys want to make a podcast, talk about ball? I can imagine you guys maybe did the same thing, and like we were all down. Kind of just a little something that we tried at first. Definitely weren't very good at it at first.
Nobody is.
But
I
no, definitely not. But
that's pretty much how it goes, yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. So yeah, kind of just getting it started like that. You can find us on all of our platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at GMLB Pod, as well as our YouTube at Good Morning Let's Basketball. So yeah, we have a lot of big things planned for the summer. We upload a podcast every Friday, as well as reels and highlights from our podcast on our social media platforms as well. So if you guys give us some support there, we'd greatly appreciate it. And we're able to lock in this summer now that some of us have a little bit of time off from school and stuff. So definitely looking forward to pushing out a lot more content and hopefully more collaborations with you guys in the future.
Absolutely,
yeah, for sure, bro.
Can't wait.
Also, very much looking forward to coming on your podcast. I will be on theirs. For those of you that are watching, I'm looking forward to that. These guys put out some great content, so please be sure to go follow them, go subscribe, follow all the socials, everything. Do everything that I say in my intro, in my outro, all that stuff. Do the same thing for them. But
I'll have everything linked in the description.
Chris, is your mic on?
Yeah, I don't think your mic is on.
It's not.
I'm just
Good catch. Wait for it.
Did I plug it in the wrong? Yeah, I did. I'm a jackass. It's my fault.
We'll go 50-50 because I unplugged it last week. I shouldn't have. I'll take half.
But yeah, so obviously
Ball
game. We got to talk about the NBA Finals today because it's coming up super soon. It's in just a couple of days. It feels like it's been forever since we've watched our last basketball game. Man, I am dying to watch some NBA basketball. This series is going to be a banger, an absolute banger. So I'm very excited for that. We're going to talk about our predictions, some X factors, and then all that good stuff. And we're going to give you guys our top 10 players in the NBA Finals. So that may get a little bit spicy. I'm very curious to see where people went with that one. So I guess that's exactly where we could kick things off. We can jump right into our top 10 NBA players in the NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. So who would like to get – actually, you know what? We'll give our guest the chance to start this thing off. Do we want to go 10-1? Do we want to go 10-5, like 10-6? How we want to do this, guys? 10-6?
10-6.
Yeah, 10-6.
10. Okay. All right. So give your 10-6, and we'll go from there.
Cool. So at number 10, I got Dan Gafford. He's been protecting the rim very well. He's definitely going to be needed in this series, especially the way Tatum likes to attack downhill. Huge piece, a part of the trade deadline. I did not think that him and PJ Washington were going to affect the team that much. So they're going to need him a lot. At number 9, I got Derek Lively. I kind of got scared there in game 4 when he had that injury. I didn't really know what the injury was or how long he was going to be out. So it's good to see that he's back. Luka's best lob threat, really good passing ability out of the low post. So he's definitely going to be very effective in this series. Kind of forget that kid's a rookie sometimes. He's been playing that impressive. At 8, I got the seasoned veteran, Al Horford. Is past prime, but extreme experience. Whenever there's a big moment in the game, Al Horford, I feel like he always comes through for them. He always does some clutch business that he has nothing to do with. So I feel like I should put him at number 8 out of respect. At 7, I'm putting Kristaps Porzingis. I believe he's a top 5 talent. I believe that he is a top 5 talent in the finals, but his health status I don't really feel comfortable putting him top 5. So with the status, I feel like 7 is a good spot for him. His presence, I feel like, can really affect them. And then at 6, where we're ending it, I got Derek White. He's going to have some tough assignments in the finals. and hopefully he can stay good for them on defense and knock down his shots.
Facts. Wow. I totally get the Kristaps thing. I was gonna say I'm glad you said that he's a top 5 talent because I was like, okay, hold up. Kristaps not in the top 5 is kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, that's fair though. Because if he isn't 100%, who knows if he's even a top 10 player in this series.
Bingo.
Exactly.
So, I completely agree.
I'm also not sure how healthy he is too.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. We'll see. So at number 10, I have Daniel Gafford. I think Gafford has clear weaknesses, which is why you can't put him higher. I think his ability to pass out of the short roll was really exposed in that Timberwolves series, especially in the game that Derek Lively missed. So he has some holes, but his ability to protect the rim and to be a lob threat, I think you have to put him in the top 10. At number 9, I have Derek Lively. I think he just does everything Gafford does a little bit better, and he's a little bit bigger. I think he's just clearly the better player than Daniel Gafford right now. Not by much, but I think he does clear him. At number 8, I have PJ Washington. It's been incredible for the Mavericks in the playoffs, especially in the OKC series. Kind of toned it back down a little bit in the Timberwolves series, kind of back to where he is, but he's definitely top 10 in here. At number 7, this one might be a hot take. I have Derek White. I know he's phenomenal. He was a borderline all-star this year, but I don't think this is a knock on Derek White as much as it is propping up the players I have in front of him. And then at number 6, I went with Drew Holiday. Kind of the same thing. If you want to put him in the top 5, can't really argue it. This 7, 6, and 5 for me, pretty interchangeable. They're all Celtics guys. I'm sure you guys know where I'm going to go with number 5.
Yep.
But could change all of them. And any given night, those guys could be not even just the third best player on the Celtics. They could be the second best player on the Celtics. Any one of these 3 guys. So they're pretty interchangeable. I went with Drew here, though.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I'm in full agreement. The 5 players that I had in slightly different order, but same 5 guys, except for Daniel Gafford, actually. Sorry about that. So at number 10, my boy, Al Horford. Been a big Al Horford guy for the longest time. I excluded Daniel Gafford off my list and instead put Al Horford because of the fact that I think Gafford may be played off the floor in this series because of his inability to make passes out of the short roll. Derek Lively is phenomenal at that, always makes the right decision. Daniel Gafford is not. Al Horford, it's a little tough because he's a 37-year-old now. So Luka and Kyrie may be killing that man in the pick and roll, but nonetheless, he's a 40+% three-point shooter, and whatever they ask from Al, more than capable of doing it, even at his old age. Sorry, Al. 37.
I was about to say, if you're gonna exclude Gafford because he might get exposed, buddy, Al Horford's in for a long series. I'll leave it at that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It could be.
All right, so number 9, PJ Washington, absolute dog. Obviously, he's the heart and soul of this Dallas Mavericks team outside of Luka Doncic. PJ is one of the best, if not the best defender on that Dallas Mavericks squad. When he gets hot, he's capable of going for 25+, as we saw in what series was it? Not Minnesota. It was who else?
OKC.
Yeah, there it is. When the Mavs played OKC. So at number 8, I have Derek Lively. I'm very high on Derek Lively. Was considering putting him even higher on this list, but it's tough to do when you have 2 guys that are as established as at number 7, Drew Holiday, and at number 6, Derek White. So those 2 are interchangeable in my personal opinion. They're pretty much the same player in ways for the Celtics. But Drew Holiday has become this big man that's 6'3" at times too. So I think they're both puzzle pieces that are interchangeable and will be huge for the Celtics in this series. So there's my 10 through 6.
All right. Yeah, I think you guys pretty much all nailed it. I have same names, just in different orders. At 10, I have PJ Washington. Like you said, the leap he's taken as a defender can't go unnoticed. And we know he can get hot offensively for sure. Number 9, I went with Derek Lively. What we've seen from him as a rookie is super impressive. And the fact that Luka Doncic is on the floor with him just makes him that much better to begin with. Could have put him higher, but I just, I'll get into it right now. Number 8, I have Al Horford. Al Horford just had so many big playoff moments that, I'm sure he's going to hit a couple big shots here and there. And, you're going to remember who he is for the Celtics. He definitely, that could be a problem, like him, keeping up with Luka and Kyrie, because he was looking gassed in that Pacers series at times. So
play a whole lot.
Right. Yeah. And that's the other thing is he may have to, depending on the status of Kristaps, if how healthy he is and all. Number 7, I went Drew Holiday. Chris, I kind of agree with you. 5, 6, and 7 are pretty much interchangeable. There's arguments for all of them at different spots. The reason I went with Drew at 7 though is because sometimes he just makes some boneheaded decisions on offense. Like he just chucks up some crazy ass shots, and the two guys ahead of him, you can imagine who they are, but I just don't think they're going to do that.
It too, because he's been so phenomenal
Right.
so far.
So you
in
know
the
he's
playoffs.
going to
he's
just
so due to shoot like 20% from three in this.
Yeah,
series.
absolutely. And at 6, I went with Kristaps. Again, Kevin, you hit it on the head. He is absolutely a top 5 talent in this series.
Definitely.
No question about it. But he hasn't played all playoffs. So, and what version of him are you getting? You know, obviously, I'm sure he could use another game off, but you know, it's the finals. He can't take that risk. You got to have him back. But no denying what he offers for the Celtics offense and defense.
Okay, so all right, we'll go 5 through 1 now, and Kevin, it's on you.
Cool. So to kick off my top 5, at the 5 spot, I'm gonna go with Drew Holiday. Guy seems pretty motivated to get his second ring, and he's definitely playing like it. It seems like he's kicking it into another gear. You know what you're gonna get from him on the defensive end. As far as offense, I'm not quite sure what we're gonna see from him in this series. With Kristaps, his availability just raises so many questions, especially on the offensive end for the Celtics. So depending on that, we could see him have a good role with the offense, but for that alone and his defense, I felt I should put him at number 5. At the 4 spot, I'm going to go with Kyrie Irving, and I have him here. I can kind of interchange him with 4 and 3. So revenge tour is, I think that's something that we're going to be seeing in this series, and that hate with Boston. I'm not really sure if Kyrie feels that hate as much as Boston fans do, but he might want to stick it to them a little bit.
Kyrie feels
at the 3 spot, I got Jaylen Brown at the 3 spot, and with 3 and 4, I feel like you can kind of interchange this. I have Jaylen Brown, and I have Jaylen Brown because I believe he's an all-NBA level talent. He's been playing very well this playoff series, especially scoring, and he did just win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, so I felt like that was enough to put him ahead of Kyrie Irving. So that's kind of my logic there, why I put him at number 3. Number 2, I have Jason Tatum.
Thank God, bro.
I mean,
he has anything crazy.
Thank God
I
don't think anyone would have even thought about that one.
I definitely wasn't going to put him at number 1. But Jason Tatum, giving my respect to him here, he is a great player in our game. Definitely top 10 in the league. He's got to stay in rhythm, though. He's got to stay in rhythm if the Celtics want to have a chance. Earlier on in the playoffs, he was really struggling, especially from 3. Seems like he's been picking it up a little bit, though. So we'll see how he plays. They're definitely going to need him. And number 1, Luka Doncic. I feel like that's going to be mostly everybody's number 1. The guy's making a case for a best player in the world. So I feel like really not much has to be said there for Luka Doncic being at number 1,
100% right.
Yeah. My number 5, I had Kristaps Porzingis. Like you said, Kevin, if he's not 100%, might not even be top 10, but I'm just going to hope and assume that he's at 100%. You want everyone to be healthy, especially going into the NBA Finals. So I'm just going to assume he's healthy for now. I put him at number 5. This is a guy, though, who could, and we're going to talk about some X factors, but this is a guy who, if he is 100%, could completely swing in the series one direction, like the band.
The band.
At number 4, I had Kyrie Irving. He's been so phenomenal he's been so phenomenal this postseason in the way that he's been able to kind of change his roles, not even series to series, but game to game. It's just whatever they've needed every game, he's done. If they need him to play make, he's play made. If they need him to score, he's scored. If they've needed him to sit in a chair and play defense, he's sat in that chair and played some defense. So Kyrie's been incredible all playoffs. Number 3, I think you got to put Jaylen Brown ahead of Kyrie. I'm the biggest Kyrie guy there is. I just think what Jaylen Brown's done on the defensive side of the ball this postseason and regular season has to be acknowledged. And I just think Jaylen Brown has more of an ability to be the best player on the floor. Maybe that's just a testament to Kyrie playing with Luka Doncic, where, it's hard to be better than Luka. But we've seen time and time again Jaylen Brown be the best player on the floor for the Celtics. Time and time again. So I just think you have to put him at number 3 just for... I think he has more of a boom potential, especially in this series, than a guy like Kyrie Irving. And 2 and 1, it's self-explanatory. Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic.
Okay, so for me at number 5, I agree. it's Kristaps Porzingis, no doubt about it. If this man is healthy, he's easily the 5th best player in this series. And on nights, he may be the 2nd or 3rd best player in this series. So you never really know with him. And number 4, especially as a Knicks fan, we know that. And number 4, it's Jaylen Brown for me. I only put Jaylen below Kyrie Irving because Kyrie's been there and done that in the finals before as the 2nd guy, obviously behind LeBron James, now behind Luka Doncic. And I think Jaylen, while yes, he has been the best player on the Celtics at multiple points and has had to be, that's also just because of the fact that Jason Tatum has not always been the best player on the Celtics, if that makes sense. Luka Doncic is a completely different world of talent. Yeah. Jason Tatum is great. He's amazing, and he is going to be on this list soon enough. But I just think that Jaylen Brown has the opportunity to step up more. I think when Kyrie is called upon, he always answers that call on a night where Luka Doncic isn't always having his A game. So I think Kyrie, in my personal opinion, deserved the 3 spot over Jaylen just because he's been there, done that. One of the best big shot makers in NBA history. And then at number 2, Jason Tatum. Number 1, Luka Doncic. It's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like the gap between 1 and 2 is about as big as the gap between like 5 and 10 in this series. So Luka Doncic is just that damn good.
Yeah. So I have Derek White at 5. Like you guys said about KP, he could easily be, maybe not easily, but he could be the 2nd or 3rd best player on the floor in this series at times. But man, what Derek White has done all playoffs and all season with Porzingis out, I just wanted to give him that nod. I also went with Jaylen Brown at 4. Between him and Kyrie, listen, Jaylen Brown is an all-NBA level defender, and he has put the Celtics on his back at points during these playoffs, and he's especially improved. Come on,
bro, he had a 40-point game.
Yeah, come on, you can't argue with that.
He won the conference finals MVP,
bro.
bro.
Still got Derek White and Drew Holiday there, bro. Let's not say put them on the back. Like we're
all right, whatever.
He's great though. He's great though.
He's especially improved down the stretch of the games, which is, where everyone had their biggest complaints about Jaylen Brown. But Sully, I agree with everything you said about Kyrie. I have Kyrie at number 3 just because obviously we know who Luka is. We know he's been in these playoffs, but he's struggling a little bit earlier in the playoffs for Luka Doncic standards, I guess. And I just think picking up Luka's slack is more impressive than picking up Jason Tatum's slack. So that's why I give him the edge there.
Bingo.
2 and 1, Tatum,
like
Luka,
that.
no explanation necessary.
That was good.
That was
like
a fucking
that.
bar. That was a
bro.
fucking bar.
You hit that.
Come on, thanks. I do
That
this.
was good.
I
That
do
was
this.
good.
Bro left 0 crumbs.
That was
But yeah, I mean,
Water now.
it's a highly talented NBA Finals, obviously, as it always is.
You ate that shit up, man. After all of that.
Oh, after all of that,
After all that.
this is made up. But yeah, it was I mean, that's our top 10. So yeah, that's this is gonna be a fun one. It really is. It's gonna come down to in my rankings, I had 4 Mavericks and 6 Celtics. And I mean, we had Celtics from what 4 through 7 on all of our lists, or at least 3, and then 5, 6, 7. I mean, it goes to show you that the top end talent is pretty heavily on the Boston Celtics in this series, and I feel like that's pretty clear.
Sure.
So now, with that being said, we can now dive into our finals breakdown, preview everything we think is going to happen in this series. And I'll just start off. I'm not going to give my full predictions. Quick thoughts. It is very much a top-end series for these Celtics. I mean, you got 5 guys, 6 guys that are going to be the mainstays of this series. I'm not sure if Peyton Pritchard or Sam Hauser are going to be able to step on the floor a lot in this series, given that they're just going to get abused.
If they do, then it's really bad for Dallas.
By Kyrie Irving and
it's really bad.
By Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. So it's tough, man. I think you're going to have these dudes playing probably close to 40 minutes, if not more than 40 minutes. And I wonder how that wears on them throughout the series. I think for Dallas, you have a little bit more of a chance of mixing and matching because I feel like they're, how will I put it, like 7 through 10 is more capable of seeing the floor in this series than the Celtics 7 through 10. So I think that's going to be a big swing factor in this series, in my personal opinion, just for keeping some of the legs fresh, like Kristaps, like Al Horford. So those are just my quick, immediate thoughts on this series and where I was looking at it from. So if anyone wants to piggyback.
I mean, my immediate thought in this series, I'm the Mavs guy. So I don't have to make anyone wait. I'm obviously going to pick the Mavs in this series. I'll say how many games when we get to that. But I'm obviously going to find the best case scenario for the Mavs. And you look at the Boston Celtics and, it's, let me think of words in English. It's a very interesting coaching battle because what makes Jason Kidd, what makes Jason Kidd an elite coach, and I'll say Jason Kidd is an elite coach. What makes him elite has been his ability to adjust and to switch up the defensive game plan and to switch the rotations. Tim Hardaway Jr. was leading 6 man of the year race at one point this year, but he's not seeing the court anymore. That's all Jason Kidd being able to adjust and all that fun stuff. Versus a guy like Joe Mazzulla, who it's kind of, when my system works, you have no chance of beating us, but we're going to ride or die with this system. It's not a lot of adjustments and such like that. So I look at the Celtics defense and they switch and they will keep switching all game. And you look at Luka Doncic, he's up there with the top 3 to 5 greatest players in NBA history in terms of abusing switches and finding the matchup that he wants and going to it every single time. We saw what he just did to Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. They didn't have a fun time. And listen, Al Horford's a cool dude. I know you really like Al Horford. I'm not the biggest Al Horford guy. He's a cool dude.
I love it.
His wife's pretty funny on Twitter. But, bro, if Luka ends up getting Al Horford on him, that's barbecue chicken. And I know I saw DJ in the chat. He said, Tatum will probably start out on Lively so Luka can't avoid the switches. It just won't be a screen with Lively. They will find whoever Porzingis is guarding and put him in the action. They will find whoever Al Horford is guarding and put him in the action. It's that simple. And if the Celtics will switch everything the entire series, Luka will find the matchup that he likes, and he will go to it every single time. And the Mavericks will win the series just off that. So my point being, if Joe Mazzulla is scared to make any type of adjustments in this series, I actually think this could be quick the other way that people aren't expecting, and it could be a quick series for the Mavericks. That was my initial thoughts at the matchup.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree. I like the head coaching battle. I mean, the Celtics have improved drastically down the stretch of games, and that was everyone's biggest knock on them coming into this year, and that can't be overlooked. But they've also, in this playoffs, it feels like they've kind of played with their food at times. Like, they had a lot of close games against Indy that should not have been close. They had the game, game 2 against Miami they lost, where they just shot themselves out of the game.
Both game 2s, yeah.
Right, yeah. And then, and they did the same thing the next round. I mean, you can't really afford to do that with Dallas. I don't think, although they have improved at pulling out close games, you don't win close games against Luka and Kyrie. I just don't think that if that's the recipe to keep it close, pull it out in the fourth, you can't do that. So you got to get them down early. And like you said, Joe Mazzulla versus Jason Kidd, it's, if you want Joe Mazzulla to win a chess match, that's going to be difficult. But the thing is that roster is so loaded, and when they get going, doing what they want to do, they are impossible to beat. There's no doubt about it. If they're hitting their threes and they're getting up and down the floor, you're not going to beat them. So
right, it's not a Joe Mazzulla's ass thing. It's his system is fucking phenomenal and great, and it's part of the reason why they are by far and away the best team in basketball right now.
And he doesn't have to abandon it really ever. Right. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough to beat.
Evan, what's your early thoughts?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you guys hit it pretty well there. I'm kind of with Chris here on being the Mavericks guy. Matchups are going to be extremely important.
I'm the Mavericks guy. I like this. Yeah. I like this guy.
I'm also just a very huge Kyrie fan as well. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Jason Kidd, he's going to do his thing. I think he's it might be weird calling a head coach an X factor, but I feel like Jason Kidd can almost be considered an X factor because the guy starts the offense damn near 10 to 15 feet above the 3-point line at the logo. So in them doing that, it forces the defense to stretch out and need them to expend, which will open the floor, which will be very necessary because the Celtics do have very athletic defenders. It's not like they have Cat and Rudy Gobert, how they play like they have Timbs on their feet sometimes. You'll have Tatum. Porzingis is decently mobile depending on his health. But yeah, and in terms of the floor opening up, someone in return can be open. We saw them play a lot of that offense against the Oklahoma City Thunder with their defenders and the length they had, having Chet, Jalen Williams, Lou Dort. We saw them extend the floor like that. And in that series, PJ Washington shot 47% from three. Yeah, when he was in the corner shooting the ball, it was literally looked like a carbon copy of Klay Thompson at times, the way he was shooting. So if that happens again, it's really hard for me to say that the Mavericks lose this series.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing I think that I want to touch on with the coaching battle is the Celtics like to play a lot of ISO ball, and we criticized Jason Kidd for a long time for only playing ISO ball. So possibly learned a thing or two about how to beat a system that relies so heavily on ISO ball. So that should be super interesting how they attack that.
So I think, for me at least, I just think that the Celtics have kind of changed their approach in terms of, and they really haven't been battle tested late in the fourth quarter either, though.
Right.
Like, given the teams that they've faced so far in these playoffs have been missing their stars. And we're talking about Jimmy Butler missing part of that series with the Heat. We're talking about Donovan Mitchell missing part of that series with the Cavs. And then, of course, Tyrese Halliburton misses some of the series with the Pacers. So they really haven't been battle tested. The Celtics are kind of blowout merchants. I'm not going to lie to you. But they're so damn good at blowing people the fuck out that it almost hasn't mattered to this point.
Right.
So it's like, can you blow a team out like the Mavs, who are so good at defense? But it's like, you have 6 guys that shoot 38% or better from three. I mean, you're making a great point. When Missoula's system works, it's impossible to beat. You can't stop it. You quite literally cannot stop it, because they will rain down from three over and over and over. And kind of similar to what the Warriors did years ago, it gets to a point where it's so overwhelming that you just like throw your hands up and you're just like, what the hell can we even do at this point? So it's demoralizing to a team when you see that happen over and over again. But on the other side of things, how are you going to demoralize a guy that does the demoralizing? Luka Doncic just rips the heart out of people over and over and over again. But I will say one thing, he's better on the road than he's been at home, which is interesting to me, especially because the Celtics have home court advantage.
Plays into his favor.
Plays into his favor in this series. So I had an original prediction, and the more that I think about this, the more my mind is slowly changing. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's gonna be it will come down to the coaches in a good way. Because how does Jason Kidd adjust? Does Joe Mazzulla switch up his system if they figure it out to a certain point? And also, do you just attack Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving over and over and over again? And as great as they are at defense in these playoffs at times, you got to wear those two out. If they're going to play 45 minutes, you better not let them get away with taking possessions off on defense, because late game, if they're fresh, you're cooked. You're cooked if it's a close game and they're fresh. So you want to make sure you take as much energy out of those boys as possible on the defensive side of the ball, because that's going to play to your advantage down the stretch of games on offense.
I agree. I think, too, the Mavs were playing heavy gap defense against the Timberwolves, pretty much daring them to shoot, letting Derek Lively be a roamer in the paint. Daniel Gafford, same thing. Celtics, you can't do that. You have to stay glued to those guys. Those guys will make you pay. Drew Holiday from the corners, I think he's the best corner three-point shooter in the NBA this season. He'll make you pay.
He was, yes.
Al Horford, like you guys mentioned when you talked about him, he will make you pay. Kristaps Porzingis, if he's there, he'll make you pay. The Jays, they could obviously hit a fucking open three. Derek White makes a shit ton of open. Like, these guys will make you pay. Right. So it's very interesting, because I think the same way I'm saying the Mavs could get whatever they want on offense if the Celtics are switching everything, I think there's a route for the Celtics to be able to get whatever they want offensively too. It's very interesting, because if the Celtics go like heavy pick and roll, which they don't do that often, but if they happen to go heavy pick and roll, that doesn't play into their favor, because the Mavs are going to play drop, and that's going to force Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown into mid-range shots and making them have to be playmakers, which that's what you want. That's the game plan. Make them run the pick and rolls. But if those guys happen to get, like you say, the matchup they want, they see Luka in front of them, they see Kyrie in front of them, they're going to go at Missoula's. I promise you, Missoula's in those guys' ear, telling everyone, Drew, telling Derek White, telling Jaylen Brown, telling JT, anytime you see those guys in front of you, you think you have a way to get to the basket, go.
Yep.
Go. Abuse them. Put them in the post. Like, really, really go at them. And, you know, there's a route, like you said, where the Celtics could just blow them out 4 times, and this could be a quick series that way. I really do believe there is a huge, like, range of outcomes with this series. I really have no idea how it's going to go. I think game 1 is going to tell us a lot, but I promise you game 4 will be a completely different game than game 1.
But J-Kid got over his game 1 demons now. So that's a little that's past this point now. So like they beat the T-Wolves.
Well, yeah, but also again, we feel, like I said, we've seen J-Kid make so many adjustments that, you know, game 1 the Celtics could go out and win by 30, but we could be going back to Boston for game 5 with the Mavericks up 3-1 for all we know.
Yeah,
the Celtics could beat by 30 in game 1, and the Mavs could rattle off 3 straight wins with Kyrie and Luka dogging them in the clutch. Celtics could win in 4. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if the Celtics sweep them. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I think actually now Luka's gonna get one. Luka's
right. Yeah,
I was gonna say I think
right.
the outcome that would surprise me on either side is a sweep.
Yeah,
I think a sweep would.
If either got swept, that would be crazy.
But yeah. So I guess we dive into our predictions, or yes, we do our X factors first. So who's Kevin? We'll let Kevin go first. Who is your X factor for the Boston Celtics?
Right. So for the Celtics, and I feel like Porzingis and his availability is really going to be big for them. So here's the kind of like the beauty with Porzingis too is he doesn't have to go out there and be exceptional. He almost just has to be present, because his presence alone, I feel like, is going to help them out a lot, both offensively and defensively. Like you guys were saying earlier, with the shooters that the Celtics have, you have to go out there and respect them. If he's not hitting, if he's having an off night, you still have to close out on him, and you cannot leave him open. Defensively, say someone on Dallas, Luka, Kyrie, beats a defender going baseline. You'll have Porzingis there, and he's a pretty solid shot blocker. A lot better than the bigs than they already have in Horford, and I guess you can count Luke Cornett. So he's definitely going to help them out. Yeah. So he will definitely be one of their biggest X factors, for the simple fact that he doesn't have to go out there and be amazing. He almost just has to be present and play okay, because he will make that much of a difference with just his presence. Secondly, I was thinking Derek White. You know, he's going to have a lot of tough defensive assignments this series, whether it is Luka or it is Kyrie. If he's able to play hard defense like that for 35 to 40 minutes a game, and then go out there and possibly help them on offense if needed, if either JT or Tatum is having an off night, having to knock down his threes. He's had a little bit of cold streak this past series against Indiana and some series past. So on offense or defensively, I think he's going to be extremely important for them in guarding one of the two-headed monsters that is Kyrie and Luka. And then hopefully he'll be able to, well, I don't want to say hopefully, but if he's able to go out there and produce on offense too, after playing probably the hardest defense he'll ever have to play in a playoff series.
Yeah, I think to your point, Kristaps, his gravity alone from being able to shoot the ball 4 or 5 feet behind the arc changes the game entirely. Yes. The way you have to play them. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns had some of that, but this is your 5. This isn't Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
This is Kristaps. Like we're stretching all the way out. I think it will be to his detriment though if he is not 100% on defense. You will get killed if you're not 100% ready to go against a Luka or a Kyrie Irving and the actions that they're going to put you in. So even just a half a step slow, it's going to take a lot away from them. So I'm curious to see.
Yeah.
I think the X factor that you stated there is 100% correct. Chris, who you got?
I went Al Horford for mine. Basically what I said before, the Celtics have been known this season to literally switch everything, and if they're going to switch everything, Al Horford is going to have to go out there and guard. And listen, this guy's good at switching out onto guards. He's made a name for himself with his versatility and being able to switch, but I don't think 38-year-old Al Horford is doing anything to, 25-year-old
Luka.
25-year-old Luka Doncic. I don't think he's doing anything to Kyrie Irving either. So I just think Al Horford can basically get played off the floor, but they can't take him off the court.
Yep.
So he's going to have to sit in the chair. And listen, I'm not saying I need Al Horford to lock up Luka Doncic, but when it gets down to that nitty-gritty in those close game scenarios, if Al Horford's on the floor, I promise you, Luka will find him and will make him guard. So can you give me 3 to 4 possessions down the stretch of a game where you could sit in a chair and make an impact and use your length? And Al Horford's a guy who is capable of that.
Yep.
He's a guy who is capable of that. If he's able to give you it's not going to be every time. Luka's going to have his way. But the same way when the Timberwolves won Game 4, what was the big swing factor in that? Rudy Gobert's defense and his switching ability after Luka fucking gamed him on his switch.
That was bad.
Yeah.
All right, but then Game 4 they win because Rudy Gobert's defense was phenomenal. That's what you need out of Al Horford. You need him to be a weak side rim protector, but also show his ability to step out and guard on the perimeter. I think that's really the series for the Celtics. I have no doubt that they're going to be able to score the ball. I'm not going to say at will because the Mavs defense is elite, but they're going to find a way to be able to score the ball. But are they going to be able to get the shots down the stretch? And I think that starts with Al Horford personally.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin said it before. My X factor for the Boston Celtics is Kristaps Porzingis. I just think it's too simple to not pick him. I mean, the health is a big determining factor for the series. If Kristaps is 100% healthy, there's potential for the Celtics to make quick work of the Dallas Mavericks. If he's not, there's potential that the Dallas Mavericks can make quick work of the Boston Celtics. So I think it's super intriguing. His gravity overall, as I said before, pulling someone 5-6 feet beyond the arc is going to be huge against massive rim protecting centers like Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. If he's not 100%, the defensive side of the ball, he's just going to get absolutely exposed. So I'm curious to see how that one plays out. My X factor is Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, I wanted to go the same way, but just because you two said it, I'll give a different answer. I don't know if you can really pick a coach to be an X factor, but I'm going to go with Mazzulla. I think if he can win the chess match against Jason Kidd and adjust to the adjustments, I think there's no way the Celtics lose this series. And I guess you could kind of say that about any coach. If typically if you win the coaching battle, you should win the series. But I think in particular, this is true with Joe Mazzulla because he has improved as a coach this season. Now, can he go up against another guy that's really improved as a coach this season, and can he outduel him?
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so Tom, I'll let you start with this one since you went last. Who is your X factor for the Dallas Mavericks?
My X factor for the Dallas Mavericks is PJ Washington. Just for the simple fact that we know he's improved drastically as a player overall since coming to Dallas, particularly tough word, on the defensive side of the ball, but he has been known to be streaky offensively where he, is missing shots. And I just don't really think you can afford to do that and go into those slumps against the Celtics. So I'm going to go with PJ Washington for my X factor.
All right. This one's tough. My X factor for the Dallas Mavericks. Oh my God. I've done some serious thoughts, had some serious thoughts on this one, and I still can't figure this out. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go with Derek Jones Jr. Oddly enough, I just think that the duo of PJ Washington, since you took PJ, I had to push mine off him. I didn't want all of us to potentially pick PJ Washington, but either way, PJ and Derek Jones Jr. are going to have some similar jobs on the defensive side of the ball because one of them is going to take one of the J's and the other is going to take the other J. How well do you guard those two guys? Because the Celtics, obviously, yes, they have a great 3, 4, and 5, but it really does boil down to how well or how poorly does the 1-2 punch of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown play. We saw just a couple finals ago when they played the Golden State Warriors, those two had historically bad finals production. They turned the ball over a whole bunch. If that happens again, the Dallas Mavericks will very quickly win this series. And I think Derek Jones Jr. is the best perimeter defender on this team. So I think whoever he gets the assignment for, there's potential for lockdown.
The Dallas Mavericks X factor, man. There's I can go with this. I think you guys are both right. I think PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. Those are the two guys who are gonna primarily get the Jays assignment. So obviously sit down in a chair and be able to guard, limit them as best as you can. No one's gonna stop those guys, but if you could get a few same thing I said about Al Horford. Give me a few possessions a game where you sit down in the chair and lock them down. I'll take that.
It's tough.
I'm going to go with Derek Lively. Because I don't think Gafford has any chance of being able to do it, but I think Lively maybe can and do it. I mean, step out on the perimeter, and if he has to switch, and again, it's not stopping these guys. No one's stopping these guys. No 7-footers stopping Jason Tatum in a switch. I know Osweezy's going to be in the chat. Oh, what do you mean? Jason Tatum cooks all these switches because that's what he's been doing the whole fucking podcast. Anything we say, it's this poor me, Celtics against the world bullshit. What size jersey do you wear? Do you know Candace Osweezy?
By the way, his answer to that was,
I saw.
It definitely can fit. I got the jaw of a snake.
Oh
Direct
my
quote
God.
from Osweezy in the chat.
Christ on earth.
But no, like Derek Lively's not going to stop these guys out on a switch. He's not going to stop Kristaps Porzingis when Kristaps wants to take him out there and go on the perimeter. But can you give me enough possessions where that's not the reason why we lose? You know what I mean? Don't be the reason why we lose. So I think Derek Lively can get exposed in this series. I'm going to be honest. The Celtics can find a way. The same way I'm saying about Al Horford, I could see a world where the Celtics find every single possible way to put him in every single action. And being that Maxi Kleber isn't 100%, you don't have a small ball option really. I don't think Maxi Kleber couldn't shoot the ball when he came back.
Yeah, it was bad.
They said he couldn't shoot. So you don't really have a small ball option. So you're going to have to stick to your guns and keep playing big. So it's on Derek Lively again, not for the entire game, but give me a few possessions here and there where you can step out and then we'll go from there. So
sure. Yeah, your guys' picks were pretty spot on with PJ Washington, Derek Jones Jr., and Derek Lively. So with my X factor, I kind of gave it a little bit earlier, said it a little bit too early. That's my bad. Was Jason Kidd. I'm going with the coach here. I know Tom went with Joe Mazzulla for the Boston Celtics. I definitely do believe that you can't pick a coach for an X factor, strong, especially in this series too. I feel like they're kind of two very different coaches when it comes to making adjustments.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the reasons I said earlier, of if Jason Kidd continues to run the offense very, very, very high, 10 to 15 feet above the 3-point line, it can open up a lot, and it can spread out the defense a lot, especially if Porzingis does play. I feel like I've said that 100 times this episode. If Porzingis plays, he's just such a question mark and an enigma of the series. It's like
right.
It's like it's pissing me off not knowing if he's gonna end up even playing game one or if he's gonna hurt himself in the first 5 minutes.
He said he's good to go for
game
one, right? Yeah, he's in for game one.
Okay.
What are you
I
getting?
thought I saw that. Right. I thought I saw that earlier, but I didn't know if I got
the most recent alert I got was Jonte Porter allegedly had to throw games because he was in significant gambling debt.
X factor for the NBA Finals is who does Jonte Porter bet on? That's
right.
The X factor.
or who is betting. But yeah, with that, yeah. So Jason Kidd being able to run the offense like they did in the OKC series, and being able to trust the matchups that they have, being able to trust Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington that they're doing their jobs in guarding the Jays. So it's kind of my X factor for the Dallas Mavericks as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a really fun one.
It's going to feed families.
So it's time?
It's definitely time.
That's
all right.
Great Bruce Buffer said.
Kevin, start us off. Who's taking this series? In how many games? And who's the finals MVP?
Man, y'all letting me set the tone today. So after all of our kind of things that we've said in today's episode, I'm going to have to go with the Dallas Mavericks in 7. I think this is a very similar, not kind of similar, not really. There's just some comparisons with the 2011 NBA Finals with Mavericks and Heat. Big European generational player versus a 26-year-old Eastern Conference bully. Kind of seen that again here when it was Dirk playing LeBron. Now it's Luka playing Tatum.
Thanks.
Not at all comparing Tatum to LeBron. People are just going to get the complete wrong idea and come at me in the comments for that.
No, but I get it. So he's an Eastern Conference merchant, not a bully.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say what it is. He's an Eastern Conference merchant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the unfortunate truth of the matter right now.
I guess I may have been being a little generous, but yeah, I'm in with just. I really think Dallas can pull this off. I feel like a lot of people are undermining them with their offense and the way Luka and Kyrie are playing right now. They're just perfect for each other in the backcourt. It's really hard for me to go away from Dallas here in 7. Finals MVP would go to Luka Doncic.
I don't know if people are really underrating them.
I think
that's what I've been seeing.
I see a lot of people picking the Mavs.
The majority
of
people are saying what DJ said when he first got here. It's I'm gonna pick Celtics in 5 or 6, but praying for Mavs in 7.
Yeah,
that's what most people are saying.
I don't
That's
know.
Most people,
I feel like
in their deep down in their hearts, think the Celtics are gonna win, but just hate them. Like O'Sweezy says, it's Celtics against the world, right, buddy?
I do think that I hate them. It's just I don't know. I just have a feeling. It's a very weird feeling.
Before I'm gonna turn it over to you in a second, but Kevin, just for some backstory, I honestly I don't think you did either. I didn't hate the Boston Celtics until I met a good man in the chat at the current moment, named O'Sleazy. And O'Sleazy is an insufferable Celtics fan. Love you, buddy, but you're an insufferable Celtics fan. So you, with your Knicks hate, has made me hate the Boston Celtics, and I'm rooting so hard against you.
It is by far my least favorite quality of yours that you're a Celtics fan. It's not even close.
So that has ruined the Boston Celtics for me because I was actually one of the first people to ride the Boston Celtics hype train before the Boston Celtics hype train was really even a thing. But now that's ruined. I can't root for you, and I hate your team because of you. So
said I'm a truther.
Yeah, all right, bro. Yeah, all right.
I mean, I definitely feel your pain there. I got one of those in my life too. He might even be tuned in right now watching this live stream. He knows who he is. So if he says something in the chat, ignore it. But the thing is I still don't even hate the Boston Celtics. I'm a big fan of Tatum. I've been watching him for years, ever since he was in college. They're just a little hard to root for.
Yeah, they are. They are. Consistent dominance will do that too, though.
Yeah, dominance.
They do dominate the Eastern Conference. They do. We call them Eastern Conference merchants.
LeBron dominated the Eastern Conference.
Brother, they've been
the Celtics lost to the 7 seed.
They've been in the last 7 conference finals, regardless.
We're just trolling, bro.
Yeah, obviously we're just
fuck the Celtics regardless. Fuck the Celtics regardless. All right, Chris, what you got, bro? I already know where you're going with it, but let's hear it.
How many is the question?
That's the question. Does he do it to them at home in Game 6, or does he purposely throw at home again just to rip the hearts out on the road?
Purposely throw? That's kind of crazy.
That's what he did in Game 4 versus
fair
Wolves. Purposely threw that shit just so we could rip the hearts out of the whole country of Minnesota.
What?
You know what? Fuck it for the storyline. Let's go Mavs in 7, and let's go Luka Doncic as the Finals MVP.
Wow.
I don't have to say anything else. I think everyone knew that's what I was going to say.
I knew where you were going with that one. Oh, man. Throughout the entirety of this podcast, I've
Yo, and O'Sweezy, though, remember when, before you guys go, remember when they were all, shitting on you about the Celtics and all that? Who was saying Celtic up, #bleed green? Who was on your side, bro?
Chris, you troll all the time in the chat. I don't want to.
No, if it wasn't the Mavs, I'd be rooting for the Celtics right now. If it was any other team in the if it was the Timberwolves, I'd be rooting for the Celtics, bro. I'd buy the jersey tomorrow, the Jason Tatum jersey. If it was the Timberwolves, bro.
Really? I would be rooting so hard for the T-Wolves. I love the T-Wolves too, but
no,
we don't root for Rudy.
Wow.
If it was anyone else in the West, so sleazy, I'd be rooting for the Celtics. I swear. Bleed green until the day I die. Bucky the Leprechaun. It's in my blood.
True.
Man, this is tough. I've been thinking about this the whole podcast now too, because I said a certain thing in the chat.
Come on, bro. Stand on your business, bro. Stand on what you fucking said.
Bro, this whole time I've been talking. I've been slowly convincing myself the other way. But you know what?
We
do stand on business.
Like Steve Bono said.
I want the Dallas Mavericks. Well, Freudian slip, geez. I want the Dallas Mavericks to win this series. I really do. But I just think there's an overwhelming amount of talent on the Boston Celtics. And that leads me to pick the Boston Celtics in 7.
Thank God. Thank you that we didn't all let the Mavericks clear, because I would have been really concerned if the Mavericks cleared on the panel. So thank you, Matt.
With that being said,
no, you don't have to.
I'm with that being said, I'm leading into the Celtics Finals MVP. Obviously, with the Celtics winning, Luka Doncic is going to be the Finals MVP after losing the NBA Finals.
Yo, imagine he does that.
If it were ever going to happen, if it was ever going to
Let's
happen,
talk about it real quick.
Hasn't that happened once before?
Jerry West did
bro.
Jerry West, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Let's go off the hypotheticals. So I'm pretty sure that if the Mavericks win this, we know Luka will be the Finals MVP. So if the Mavericks win this, I think pretty consensusly most people will say Luka's the best in the world after this run.
Yes.
Most people. I know Jokic, Giannis still have great cases, but just because of recency bias and the way NBA discourse works, most people will say that.
Yeah.
If Luka loses in 7, but still gets Finals MVP, are we calling him the best in the world?
Yeah. Given that he's done something that hasn't happened in like 60 years, I'd say it's pretty safe to say he'd have to be considered the best in the world.
40-point trip dub?
40-point trip dub.
Nothing more, nothing less. Well,
more.
More is great. Yeah, more is great.
Crazy. Nothing less.
More.
What about like a 35-point trip dub?
No, it doesn't.
Has to be
because Tatum will probably end up averaging like 30 in a winning effort. So it'll be
like 26% from 3.
Jesus. Oh my God. Nah. All right. I'm not gonna be willing to bet that Luka Doncic.
So Sleazy said if Jason wins Finals MVP, he'll be the best player in the world by that logic.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
No,
shit.
Because he didn't have this insanely dominant.
Yeah, he beat the Pacers.
He wasn't the best. Luka Doncic has been the best player in the playoffs when he had fucking 4 games where he was playing on one leg. He's still been far and away the best player in the playoffs. Jason Tatum has been far from that.
I mean, there's been series where he hasn't even been the best player on the team.
That's what I'm saying.
So let's not even.
He literally didn't win the Eastern Conference.
I mean, granted, you could have argued that he should have won the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Regardless, I'm gonna have to say the Finals MVP will be Jason Tatum, because I think it's a little bit of pondering after that, because Jaylen Brown just won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So I think we're definitely leaning with the voters now that Jason Tatum will win the finals.
Bro, Squeezy, we called Jokic the best in the world for beating fucking Bam Adebayo in the finals. If Luka Doncic runs through the fucking Clippers, the Thunders, the Timberwolves, and the Celtics, best player in the
that
world,
was like
bro.
kind of unnecessary shot at Luka.
No, because he's saying
Jokic,
he's just saying like, oh, what do you mean? If Tatum wins, is he the best in the world?
Bro, you have to be up for debate for best in the world in the first place to then take the crown. Tatum was never even in consideration for top 5, if we're being entirely honest right now. So
that's what I'm saying, though. It solidified it for Jokic when he won the final.
Because he was in debate.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. Right. So Luka, like, we've been debating this. Like, it was pretty clear that Jokic was the guy.
He's saying he's been best in the world for 3 years, Jokic. That's like just not how it was, bro. Like, I'm sure some people were saying that, but it wasn't like this consensus thing like it was this year.
Yeah, I mean,
it was Giannis.
I would agree
for
with
a while. And why did Giannis become the consensus best player in the world? Because he won a championship.
He had 1,000,000 points in the closeout game.
Because he was, like you said, he was in the consideration, and then he won the thing.
Right.
Plus, had insane moments too that helped his case, like Luka hitting a game winner over Rudy Tootie, the defensive player of the year in the Western Conference Finals, bro.
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, I'm taking JT for my Finals MVP. Tom, what you got?
Mavs in 7, the Don is the Finals MVP. It just can't happen any other way. No, it definitely can. Like we said before, this series could go anyway. The Mavs could. I don't think anyone's getting swept. Let me say that. I could see Mavs winning in 5 or 6. I could see the Celtics winning in 5.
I have to cut you off. Oh, Squeezy, listen to what we are saying, bro. Because he is nowhere near consideration for it, because he plays on a super team, because he might not even be the best player on his goddamn team. That's why. Continue. I'm trolling the last part was trolling, but like
that guy must be one of your boys, man.
He is. We love
him. Okay, I was gonna say
he's in our BallGame group chat.
He is in the group.
Okay.
Yeah. We became friends with him through him watching the podcast, and he's become such a close friend that we've added him to the group chat for the podcast. So
if you watch this pod, you would think we hate O'Sleazy.
Yes, yeah. No, you really would.
We really do.
But we absolutely love O'Sleazy. That which then gives us the ability to come on the podcast and go for the neck with this pause, heavy pause, with O'Sleazy. But yeah, I mean, look,
bro, a ring puts Luka Doncic over the top, bro. I'm not saying a ring puts anyone over the top. A ring put Jokic over the top, who was becoming there. And what did we say all of last season's postseason run? If Jokic gets a ring, he's the unquestioned best player in the world. What did we say before Giannis won the ring in 2021? If he wins this ring, that's all he needs to be the unquestioned best player in the world. What else does Luka Doncic have to do? Holy shit, man.
I love how DJ's in the chat like, bro, he's trolling you. He is.
Like there's levels to this. I'm not saying a ring puts anyone over the top, but this is Luka fucking Doncic on a completely different tier than Jason Tatum. Respect him.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to be the best player on your team for an entire playoff.
My gosh, man.
Up for consideration.
How am I contradicting myself, bro?
All right, Chris, you're never gonna win this. He's trying to get a reaction out of you. Like, you do know he doesn't actually think Tatum would be the best player.
I'm not saying it's just winning the ring. I'm saying it's the playoff run in totality, capped by a ring.
Period.
Chris is finished. Everyone gave their predictions. You said Mavs in 7. Okay. Finals MVP is pretty obvious. Wow, that would have been a clean sweep if I changed my mind.
I really thought it was gonna. Once Kevin said it,
I thought we were all going that way too.
Thank God we didn't.
That's crazy.
See, and then DJ says it's more so how Jokic played that put him over the top, which is what O'Sleazy is probably trying to say, right? And what I'm saying is it's how Luka is playing plus the hardware. That's what it takes. You have to pass the eye test and you have to have the hardware. Tatum, if he wins the hardware, he doesn't pass the eye test. That's why there are levels to this thing.
This podcast has devolved into Chris versus O'Sleazy.
It's just damn shame he isn't on here, man.
Yeah, it really is.
It's damn shame he couldn't come on here.
All right.
This would have been the day to have him.
Yeah, man. It really would have.
All right. Anyways, I'm not going to acknowledge anything else in the chat. I want you guys to blind rank these NBA Finals losers. So I'm giving you guys 5 of them, 1 through 5. You guys know the deal. Blind ranking.
Yeah.
We're working together on this one. So.
All right. First up, we got the 2010 Boston Celtics.
Okay.
All right.
Man,
it's
not going to help the fact that we hate the Celtics agenda, in my opinion. I'm going 4 or 5. Yeah.
It's not. I would probably put him at 4 because you still had KG, Paul Pierce, Rondo, Ray out.
Right, but these are finals losers. They're all going to be sick teams.
No, I know that, but that is a very sick.
Of course, yeah.
Like, that is. Right. There's almost too much talent for us to put them below.
Yeah.
You can't put them at 5.
Kev, where are you going for?
No.
You think 4 or 5 or higher?
I'm thinking. I don't think 5 would be safe. I say either 4 or 3. I'm more leaning towards 4.
Yeah, 4 is good.
Okay.
He's still going in the chat, by the way.
Don't pay attention.
I'm the type as you guys deliberate. I don't have to say anything other than a year in a team.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna put them at 4.
All right. Next up, we have the 2021 Phoenix Suns. Yeah, we were seeing this.
Oh, we saw
started.
this earlier. Yeah,
crazy. Okay.
That was wild.
2021 Suns. Man, that was a good team.
It was a very good team.
They were pretty good.
You got CP, you got Book, McCall, who's going to be a Nick this offseason.
They just played so damn. Like, they were just like on paper. I don't think they're better than the Celtics, but they played so damn. They won like what 64 games.
Yeah, I think
60 something,
62. Or
something like that.
They won a lot of games that season, but I don't know if I'm willing to put them over that Celtics.
Better than the Celtics? I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't think I can either.
No, right?
Fuck, bro. We're gonna get the 2022 Celtics.
We're gonna get the 2024 Celtics. That's gonna be the last. That's gonna be the last.
That'd be hilarious. Damn, that Suns team was good though. Yeah. But obviously, all these teams are gonna be good. We're gonna get a really bad one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna fuck this list up if we put them at 5. So
we're gonna get the 2021 Heat, the 2022 Heat, or whatever.
We want to be safe and like put them 3. We should have put the Celtics at 3. Kev was spitting with that one.
Yeah.
All right. What do we feel? Do we want 5 or 3? It goes to a vote here.
Fuck.
I don't know if they're better than that Celtics team,
I don't
but
think so.
at the same time, we might just have to take the L and just hope we have some sick teams coming up.
Like take a slight L and not take a major L.
Yeah. Right.
So,
yeah. I'll go 5.
5.
5 votes for 5.
Kev.
I think 5 would be good.
Okay. All right. I'll put number 5.
All right. Next up, you guys have the 2007 Cavaliers.
Yo, low key, LeBron's
We
whooping the
fucked up.
Suns.
No, we
LeBron's
fucked
whooping
up.
the Suns.
We fucked up.
Oh,
We fucked up.
LeBron's whooping the Suns.
We should have put them at 3 because this 07 Cavs team is LeBron James.
But he's so
I
damn
know,
good.
I know that. But bro, their second best player was like Zdronis Ilgauskas. We fucking sold.
Yeah, no, we definitely did. But I'm just saying LeBron's whooping
They
the Suns.
have to be 3. They can't be any higher.
Yeah, exactly,
I would put them at 5 if it was open, but
Right.
we got to put them at 3.
Yeah.
they'd definitely be 3.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, you guys got the 2006 Dallas Mavericks.
They lost to the Heat. They were like, they're not one, right? They were really fucking good though.
They were a very good team.
Like they had no business.
They probably
losing
should
that
have won the
series,
finals
right?
if it wasn't rigged.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to put them at 2. Oh boy, who are we leaving for 1?
Right.
If it's the fucking 23 Miami Heat, bro, we've just demolished this list.
And your guys' number 1 finals loser is the 2023 Miami Heat.
Yeah, we sold.
Fuck.
That
Wow.
is probably one of the worst.
Yeah,
lists
we
we've
probably.
ever
I
put
don't think we
together.
could have done worse, honestly.
I think you guys fumbled with the Celtics drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
That was bad. I was expecting way better teams than that Celtics team.
Me too. To be honest,
So was I.
I
So
thought
was
we
I.
were gonna get some like the
Well, now-
Spurs.
I wanted to
Like
give you guys,
2011 Heat. Yeah.
I wanted to give you guys some losers, man. Some losers.
Gosh.
Mm,
I thought you
Who wants
were
to
gonna
get
put one of the Warriors teams on there too.
yeah, Tom, this trivia I have for when we're done is epically negative. It's so awesome.
No.
Chris is in a negative mood today.
All right. So next up, I need you guys to blind rank these NBA Finals winners. In my notes, I wrote blind rank Finals wieners. All right. First up, you guys got the 04 Pistons.
Bro. Okay.
There's
Since
no
he said
way
the-
he gives
Since he
us-
just said
yeah.
the Pistons, we're getting one of the Warriors teams.
Okay.
We're absolutely getting one of the Warriors teams because they have beef right now.
Yeah.
I'm not against putting the Pistons at 4 or 5.
Me neither.
There's no
I don't.
All-Star on that team. They're the greatest
agree.
defensive
Mhm.
team of all
Right.
time, but there is no All-Star on that team. Like it's 1 through 5, they're stacked. They're really good.
I'm trying to think how else he would get us with a winner.
That's what I'm trying to think too.
I mean, these teams were all the best team.
They
in the
all
league
won
for
the
that
championship,
season.
right? Yeah.
They're all really good.
See,
Like the only
I feel like
Go
I
ahead.
feel like he might give us. I feel like he might give us like the Raptors or something in 2019 or
Yeah, but
18,
the
whatever
Raptors
that year
team
was.
is loaded.
Yeah, that team was loaded, but people would probably disagree though.
there are
I don't
people.
know,
there-
man. I'm
there are
willing to
people.
put the Pistons at 5. I think that Raptors team is better than a lot of the finals teams that he could give us, to be completely honest. They had everything.
I don't disagree.
That team was
Yeah, that's good with me.
I'd put
5's
them at
cool.
5. Yeah. Detroit Pistons at 5. Even though they beat the Kobe and Shaq Lakers.
That defense was smothering,
It was also Kobe and Shaq were
feuding.
cooked.
Yo,
Yeah.
side note, Luka Doncic is shooting a godlike 65.2% from 17 feet to the 3-point line in the playoffs so far.
Mid-range killer.
Second, only trailing his teammate Kyrie Irving at
Jesus
66.7%, bro. That's insane. That's an insane stat for the type of shots they take, bro. That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's
For the best
Jason
player in the
Tatum
world.
could never,
Oh,
bro.
Jesus Christ.
Jason Tatum could never.
All right, who's next?
All right, next up, what you guys put them 5?
5.
Oh boy. Next up, you guys got the 2009 Lakers. I meant
Kobe.
sorry. The 2008 Lakers.
Oh, you were gonna get cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, let me redo
That
the
was the
entire
Celtics.
thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next up, you guys got the 2008 Los Angeles Lakers.
No, it wasn't the Celtics. 2008 Los Angeles. Oh, they beat the Magic that year.
Yeah, they beat Dwight.
They beat Dwight.
Kobe was.
Oh wait,
on.
it was 09. I'm.
Oh wait,
fucking
was
tripping
yeah. Oh wait, it was the
balls,
Celtics.
bro.
You're so right. You're
I'm
so
so
right.
fucking
Yeah.
brain damaged. All right. Next up, you guys got the 2009 Lakers.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
Kobe and Powell. Kobe was on one.
You got
Was
Ron Artest. You got
And like I know it's not the same team, but they
Bynum.
did go. They did go back to back.
yeah.
It's like they were that. They were them.
It was mostly the same team.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm down to put them at like dead smack in the middle.
3. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What do
You're
you
right with
think?
3.
You could disagree, please. If
Yeah,
you
feel
think
free.
completely
I'm in.
differently, please disagree.
No, I would say either 3 or 2, but like I said, I'm feeling cool with 3.
Okay. Yeah, dead smack in
Yeah.
the middle. We'll put them at 3.
I think we can get good teams after.
All right. Next up, you guys got the 2012 Miami Heat.
Perfect.
1.
I'll put them at 2. Oh, I think we're getting. How many finals teams are better than them? You could go Shaq and Kobe. You could
Shaq and
go
Kobe,
Michael
20
Jordan's Bulls. If you do that.
2018 Warriors.
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 There might not be many more. But he's picking one of them.
Is he?
He has to.
Chris plays games, bro. He makes.
Maybe that's
He's gonna make
the
us
Mavs.
think. He's
We're
gonna
getting
make us
the
think.
Mavs.
The
I think we're
2011
getting
Mavs.
the Mavs, and I don't know what other team we're getting. If I just predicted what he's Mavs and Warriors are the next 2. If I'm wrong,
Do I play games?
yes.
You're doing it right now.
We're quite literally in a game.
If I'm gonna be wrong, I'm okay with being wrong about. Oh, it's 2012 LeBron. The 2012 Heat.
2013, LeBron is the
2013
greatest basketball
yeah.
player to ever live, if not 18.
If not 18, yeah. You want to go 2? Kev, what do you think? 1 or 2?
Deciding decision. Deciding decision. Whoa.
I'm gonna say 2.
All right, we'll go
Okay,
2.
there we go.
All right. Next up, you guys got the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks.
Probably gonna have to be 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad.
That's
I
fine.
think the
Yeah.
list still
I think that's fine.
stands. Hold strong.
So you guys have number 1 open.
Yep.
You guys got to stop leaving number 1 open for the blind rankings. That's just silly. We've done so many of these. You guys should have learned by now.
bro.
Your number 1 finals winner in the history of basketball is the 2019 Toronto Raptors. Kevin was
Yes.
right.
Wow, what a call.
Damn.
Yes, it's right.
It's
Kawhi is
right.
the
It's
LeBron
crazy.
Kawhi
It's
is the
right,
LeBron
it's crazy.
Why is the LeBron stopper? Give me
Yeah.
Spicy P.
So what did your
Lowry,
guys'
and
list end
Kawhi.
up being? The Raptors, the Heatles, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Pistons?
Yeah.
If we swap 2 and 1, we no.
I'd live with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Bro,
I
that
guess
Yeah.
I
Raptors
live with
team was
that.
fucking
I
stacked.
live with it. I don't think.
I'm not taking no Toronto Raptors
Over
over
Kobe?
fucking Kobe
Kobe and
Bryant,
Powell?
Give a
bro.
shit.
What
Kawhi
do you
Leonard
mean,
was
bro?
on 1.
So was Kobe.
I don't give a shit.
No, I'm not
What do you mean?
That team
I don't know if they'd be better than the Lakers.
had
Yeah, they-
everything
they're
I
not
don't know.
that you would need in the
No.
fight. They could play any style of basketball.
Bro, they beat fucking Steph Curry and JaVale McGee,
No,
bro.
they beat. Stop it. Klay Thompson got hurt late in that series. They
Oh
beat
my
that full
gosh,
team.
bro. They're
Except
not
for
better
KD.
than
no,
the
they didn't.
Lakers.
Yeah,
Except for KD.
except for KD.
Except for KD.
Bro, they're not better.
Nobody would have beaten the Warriors with Kevin Durant,
Right.
Exactly.
except for Kawhi on the Spurs
No.
before he got hurt.
I don't think
That 1
Fan
year,
was
yeah.
good.
That's it. That's it.
No,
I'm okay with it.
bro. The Raptors are not better than the
You know
list
what?
is done.
We need
Just
to do
say
a
the
2K
truth,
sim.
bro. Bro, there's no way you think the fucking Toronto Raptors were better than Kobe's Lakers, bro. Bro, the D Fish, Ronald,
Kyle Lowry,
Andrew Bynum,
Danny Green.
bro. I'm not moved.
Let's
by
go
fucking-
bar for bar.
Danny Green's not
I'll go
doing
bar
it.
for bar with Danny Green right now.
What does that even mean?
Ron Artest over Danny Green.
Yeah, but I'm not taking Derek Fisher over Kyle Lowry. Kyle
I'm taking
Lowry.
Pau Gasol.
I'm taking Marc Gasol.
Oh my gosh.
No. No, you're not.
Stop it.
Stop being silly.
You may have Powell, but I have
Trying
Mark.
to save the list here.
But I got
No.
Pascal Siakam, which isn't that much of a. It's a fall off, but it's not that much of a fall off. I'm taking the Raptors.
No, you're not.
What did fucking Showtown Hoop say? You do not know how good Pau Gasol
You have no
was.
idea how good Pau Gasol was.
Nah, Pau's a hooper, bro. I love
No,
Pau
you have
Gasol.
no idea. Clearly,
I love Pau Gasol, man, but nah, Marc Gasol.
You're throwing spicy P up there.
Mark is the Pau stopper.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. They played in the driveway so many times. He
Right.
knows all of his moves.
Vice versa.
isn't it so crazy that
Yeah,
they
but
got
Mark wasn't
traded for
scoring.
each other, bro? I think that's a crazy
what?
thing that they got
They
traded for
did
each
get
other.
Yeah.
traded for
I think
each
that's
other.
the
What are the odds of
craziest
that?
thing of all NBA history. Everything that
Right.
ever happened, crazier than the merger.
Like, what are the odds of your brother making the NBA and also getting traded? Like, that's insane.
It's insane.
That's insane.
That's
Real quick, do we have
That is
anything
wild.
else?
I have like TikToks for like after.
Okay. I wanted to ask something I said in the chat the other day. I want to ask you guys who's a player from any era, it could be 2000s, 90s, 80s, that you think would thrive today in today's NBA. So, like, my example was the other day when I said Luol Deng in today's NBA would make so much money. Like
so many.
right? Like,
Any of those stretch fours that weren't allowed to shoot
Yes.
the amount of threes.
Yeah.
So like I think
Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Lewis. I think Antoine
Rashard
Jameson
Lewis.
would be a top 10 player in today's NBA easily.
Oh, boy.
Easily, bro.
Top 10.
Antoine Jameson
Top
was like
10 is nuts.
Folks just said Pablo Prigioni. I don't even know if he's referring to my question or not. He might have just fucking said that for no reason.
Oh, boy. Like, Tayshaun Prince would be perfect
Yeah.
for today's NBA.
This would be good.
Sheed.
Sheed would be
Sheed would be
perfect for today's
insane,
NBA.
yeah.
Oh my God, Sheed and Draymond would be in federal prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
You would
if
have
they played against each
thrown
other.
hands.
put an end to that.
AK-47.
AK-47 would
Yeah.
have been perfect for today's
Yeah.
game. He's the small ball big. Like, he's the guy that you're trotting out there at the 5 to just demolish everybody.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think Charles Barkley would have been insane.
my
in
God.
today's
Oh my
game,
God.
bro.
Barkley
Yeah.
would have been good.
Freedom
Would've
and
been
shit.
insane.
Charles
He was such an
Barkley.
underrated passer. Like he would have been what they want Zion to be, but he actually stayed on the court.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally. He was
Definitely.
Zion before Zion.
Like Zion's so great for his athleticism and all that shit, but we prop Zion up because of his ability to pass that we didn't see at Duke. Like that's what Chuck was doing, bro. So yeah, I think Chuck
Yeah.
would be like, oh, like
It's
he
hard,
was
though, because
obviously elite, but like he'd be insane.
I was about to say that. Like, you don't want to pick guys that were amazing.
Yeah,
'Cause it's like they're transcendent. Like,
No,
they'll
but
be
I think
great
like
no
he,
matter what.
I think most guys would take it to a new
I was
level
about to
in
say that
today's
too.
NBA.
Trunk said
Right.
Tony Allen wouldn't be in the league.
I mean, to
Wouldn't
an
be in the
extent,
league?
Wouldn't be in the league.
Wouldn't be in the league is
Lou
crazy.
Dort could learn how to shoot. Tony
Right.
Allen could learn how to shoot, bro.
Yeah.
You just worried
would've
that if he's,
figured it
like,
out,
does he
bro.
turn into a Matisse Thybulle? Like, Thybulle is never.
That was in the league though.
Yeah, but he's cooked. He's cooked.
No, yeah, Tony Allen I think would definitely be like worse in today's.
Yeah,
NBA.
yeah.
I think like
sure.
this is a
would.
this is a random name, but like this one gets thrown around there sometimes. Like Mahmoud Abdul Rauf with
Wow. That's a name.
or
Yeah, any of those tiny little guards
that were shooting the shit out the
Yeah.
ball.
Nick
They got
Van
pushed out because they weren't allowed to shoot
yeah,
the ball.
Nick
as much.
Van Exel,
Nick
Rex
Van Exel.
Chapman.
Van Exel, yeah, I was gonna say him.
Yeah, all those little tiny guards.
Kevin, any names?
One that came to mind right away was Kukoc. I
Mm,
feel like he'd be. I feel like
I
he'd be
like
good.
that one. I like
Good
that
name.
one.
Tony Kukoc is.
You said Chris Copeland the other day.
Chris Copeland would be a stud.
Andrea Bargnani, of course.
I'm sticking with the Bulls here. Nikola Mirotic.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
Mirotic
Maybe.
is fucking
Mirotic was
nice.
really good towards the back end of like before he left the NBA. Like he had a run with the Pels where he was
He's put up
really
like
fucking
18 a
good.
game or some shit like that. Like
really fucking good with that
bucket.
team.
Left the NBA to play overseas. He's got to be the first player to ever do that.
Like
in the
middle
at his peak of his career,
in the
pretty
middle
much.
of
Yeah.
their primes, kinda. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. He's like, I'll go back to Spain.
Yeah, Ilyasova.
Silva. Oh my
Ilyasova,
God.
yeah.
Ilyasova's one. I think
I
this
think
is like Kevin. I don't want to bring up Kevin Garnett because he was amazing, but Kevin Garnett in today's NBA, bro.
Oh, Rudy from the Diving Deep show. Come on, man. Fuck. Rudy from the Diving Deep show says Pelicans legend Terrence Jones. I thought Terrence Jones was going to be
Wow.
him coming out of college.
He was picked
bro.
super high,
He
wasn't he?
was decently
Yeah.
high.
Not super high, but
He was up there. He was
lottery,
up there.
definitely.
Was he?
Was he lottery?
Terrence Jones.
He might have been the 17th overall
No.
pick. Don't ask me why.
Terrence Jones was a lottery pick.
Yeah,
bro.
I think so.
Was he?
Wow.
Don't
Yeah.
Terrence Jones lore is fucking crazy.
All right. Since we're on this topic of like
He
random,
was like a
players,
top 10 pick.
who was a player that you thought was going to be like an absolute superstar that didn't work out?
Man, Anytime I see this question, I think of Harry Giles.
Trunks is
Oh my
I
god.
thought Harry Giles was going to be a beast.
Oh, wow, he wasn't a lottery pick.
Oh, he
He
wasn't?
went 18th overall.
I was close.
Pretty damn close. Yeah, no, Harry Giles. I remember specifically because like I would do the like 2K like my GM things, and anytime I would load up the draft class, Harry Giles would be like the consensus #1 pick.
Yeah.
That guy was a fucking
He was
monster.
the #1 recruit. Yeah.
Scalabissiere too. I remember he always picked up.
God,
He
that's
showed
a
up in
name, bro.
the my GM. Yeah.
I know one of your
Who
names.
else?
Who's one of mine?
Jabari Parker.
Little
Corey Parker, yeah.
Or Marvin Bagley. One of the Duke guys.
Is...
I know you like Duke guys.
What? I thought Marvin Bagley would be pretty good. I didn't. Neither of them were my guy. Bro, stop. I like Jabari Parker. I
Right,
love Jabari
yeah.
Parker.
Jabari was so nice.
Never mind.
Bro, I thought Emmanuel Moutier was going to be him.
Oh
I
my
wanted
God.
him so fucking
Bro,
bad in that
Nerlens
Zingis draft.
Nah, Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, he went to Kentucky, bro. Yes, Nerlens Noel. I got a flat top because, well, it wasn't a real flat top, but I tried to grow out a flat top because of Nerlens Noel, bro. That was my dog, bro. That was my dog. Ben McLemore's and they were in the same draft class too. Ben McLemore, I thought was actually going to be the next GOAT of the NBA. Like
I love that DJ said Bagley had no bag, no way you thought he was going to be good, as if he wasn't the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, he's
like actual NBA GMs thought he was going to be good, but I see what you mean.
My guy that I really thought, like, I missed on him big time. I thought Josh Jackson was going to be the best player in the NBA. To be completely honest, I thought Josh Jackson was really going to be like the best player in the NBA. That missed big time.
I thought Jared Culver had a really good chance too.
I thought DeAndre Hunter was going to be a stud.
And a lot of those guys, like this, especially in like today's NBA, like the 6'7" wing guard kind of guys that were like shot creators in college.
The
And shit. Like you
3-and-D
think, right? You think
guys.
they're going to be beasts in the NBA, and then they just can't shoot, can't do anything.
It just goes to show
I
how
thought
far
all,
athleticism could get you.
I thought all the UNC championship team guys, I thought all of them were gonna. I thought Joel Berry was gonna be an NBA player. I thought Theo Pinson would. He had some years.
I
like,
was
on the
convinced that
bench,
he was going to
but
be a good NBA
even
player.
Justin Jackson. I thought just because of his ability to shoot, I
Shoot
thought
the
he'd be
ball.
able to stay on the
Cam
floor.
Johnson turned out well.
Isn't it crazy that he's the best one out of that? That he was on the championship team, but that was like that last year. Well,
That's
no,
pretty
Cam
crazy.
Johnson.
He was on.
He was there with Kobe and Nas. Actually, Cam Johnson. He was there for 2 years.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was convinced Josh Jackson had next, bro. It breaks. me.
Nas Little was another one too. I
Yes.
thought Nasir Little was
Nas
ranked
Little,
number 9 in high school.
Kevin,
for a
these
little
two, if I'm not mistaken, and our friend Trunks would get into like heated debates that Josh Jackson was going to be better than Jason Tatum coming
Yeah,
to the
no.
NBA.
Damn.
That's how hard they went for Josh Jackson.
I remember watching that draft and being like shocked that Tatum was picked 3rd. I was like, damn, I thought they were going to go Josh Jackson. I thought Tatum was better, but like in the mind of a GM, I thought they were going Josh Jackson to Boston.
He's a good
But
kid.
one of the names I thought was going to be pretty damn good today was Obi Toppin.
Mm.
Just seeing like his
Pretty hard to get him.
He
his
still got the chance, so you know.
He's been good.
He's still
He's a good
he has
player.
been good.
Yeah.
He has been good.
And whenever he got like extended stretches with us, you remember,
Yeah.
bro, there was like a
He was
I
averaging,
forgot,
yeah,
a
yeah,
15
I know
and
exactly
20
what you're
game
talking about,
stretch
yeah.
where that man averaged like 24.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-game stretch where he went for like 35.
Yes.
Yeah,
plus.
he's good. He's real
He
good.
He has
might
time.
actually be a really good NBA player. and
No,
they-
he is
just
a good
hasn't
NBA
gotten
He-
that.
player.
yeah, he's a good NBA player for sure.
So
He's got time.
Tibbs was just sticking his ass in the corner.
I thought Denny was going to be a superstar,
Justice
but he's been
Winslow's
really good.
he's
Denny's
one.
turned out to be a great Justice Winslow. Oh my god!
Oh my God. That's a
Justice
name I
Winslow.
completely forgot about.
In every like NBA 2K14 like my league that I would do, I swear to God, Justice Winslow or like 15 would always turn into like a 95 overall, and I was just like, yeah, this is my guy right here.
Yeah.
I was convinced he was going to be a superstar. That one's hard.
Jahlil Okafor. I was high on him too.
I didn't like Jalil.
I didn't like
either,
Jalil
bro.
coming
He was
out.
in the wrong era, man.
You know
I
what?
liked him.
This
He was.
one's
was in
one's
the
for
wrong
the
era.
really like the guys who really know basketball. Like anyone in the chat who really know basketball, you know this name, bro. CJ Fair. CJ Fair. He was on Syracuse for like MCW and all of them. The team now is like undefeated for a while. After the year after too, like Tyler Ennis and Rakeem Christmas and
Yeah, definitely.
Jeremy Grant.
Oh,
Right? Jeremy Grant went to Syracuse.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, the other brother went to
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Yeah, Jeremy Grant was on that team.
Jerry and Grant.
Jerry and Grant, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Jeremy
this
Grant.
dude
Nick.
CJ Fair was insane.
Nick Legend.
Another like deep pull is fucking Markel Brown, who was at OK State with like fucking Marcus Smart. Also on that team was this dude named Brian Nash, bro. The coolest name of
How are you
all
not
time.
an elite basketball player? Yeah.
That was my thought process as a kid. I was like, bro, he's Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Steve Nash. Like, yeah, I'm in. I'm all there.
Yeah,
Brian Nash.
I thought Trey Burke was going to be Allen Iverson.
Oh my God, yes. For a stretch, he was.
Low key, yeah.
DJ says,
stretch
I
he
guess
was.
I'm a casual. DJ, when you're done here, go look up some CJ Fair Syracuse highlights. You're gonna be like, wow, this guy should have been league bound.
One more name that I'll throw out. I thought Dragon Bender was going to be really good. Don't ask me why.
No.
I thought Dragon Bender was going to be a force stretching shot blocking
Nah, you messed
force
up with that one.
in the NBA. That did not turn out to be.
I see TikTok.
Dragon
where it's like a guy on Reddit, and he'll be like, "Reason number 45 why I would have been a terrible NBA GM." Yeah.
Oh,
It's
those
like,
are funny.
I thought Justice Winslow was going to be the greatest player ever.
I would have taken him first overall.
Right. Yeah.
But fuck it. I'm taking him first overall. Fuck it. That was the Wiggins draft class, I think. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Winslow went 10th in that one. But yeah, these are some fun conversations always whenever we have them. So
Yeah.
You got to dig deep.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
I think so. Yeah.
all right, cool.
Send us out.
Kevin, if you want to stick around, we're gonna film some TikToks after this. But please do me a favor. Tell these people where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
For sure. So if y'all are looking for the pod, you can find us on YouTube at Good Morning Let's Basketball. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at GMLB Pod. We got a lot of things planned for this summer, so we're hoping that we can get some new people along the way.
Yeah, they have great content. They put out a bunch of content. I will be joining their show. Thankfully, they asked me to do it. I'm very excited for that. Kev, thank you for coming on our show. It means the world.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials, Cowboy BallGame 1K hoodie, all that good stuff. NBA Finals coming up in just a few days. NHL Stanley Cup Finals coming up in just a few days. A lot of great sports happening. And with that,
Ball game.